Hello students, hope everyone is fine and doing well. Today's class we are going to start the new chapter, continuity and differentiability. We completed the inverse trigonometrics chapter. So before we go to the details, I think class 11th also we studied about the continuity and what is the differentiability and some formulas related to it. So we are going to study more detail about these things in class 12. So let's recall few things about continuity and all. If I want to say function is continuity, one, I can prove it mathematically, or second is I can represent that on the graph. If graph goes without any breaks, then I can see it is a continuous function, it will be a non-continuous function. Okay, let me take the function f of x equals to 1 if x is less than or equals to 0. That is, whatever the value you take from minus infinity to 0, f of x value is going to be 1 only. And if x is greater than 0, your f of x is going to be 2. Okay. So if I represent the graph of this function, this one is the graph of this function. From minus infinity till 0, the function y value will remain 1 only. In x crosses 0, that is x is greater than 0, any value you take from open interval 0 to open interval plus infinity, y value is going to be 2. So can I say this function is a continuous function? Can I say is the function is continuous or discontinuous? Here you see the graph. Till you reach number 0, it is taking the value as 1. Once you take the number after 0, okay, once you take the number after 0, immediately graph is shifting to number 2. Then after 0, the values of y or f of x is going to be 2. There is a break in the graph. The graph of the function is not continuous. It will go till 1 here. After 0, the graph is shifting to 2. There is a break in the graph. So I can say this function is discontinuous. Okay. Now come to the second example. So according to this one, what I can say, if there is a gap break in the graph of the function, then it will be a discontinuous function. Now come to the second example. You take f of x equals to 1 if x is not equals to 0. X is not equals to 0 means x can be less than 0 or x can be greater than 0. In both the cases, y value or f of x value is 1. When x is equals to 0, f of x value is going to be 2. Okay, so this is the graph. At x is 0, this is x is 0, then f of x value is taking 2. So at 0, the value of y is going to be 2. So this is the point 0, 2. But left of 0, any value you take on the negative x-axis, the value is going to be 1 only. Or any value you take on the right hand side of 0, the value is going to be 1 only. Here what happened? Left of 0 and right of 0, both the values are 1 only. But at 0, the value of the function is going to be 2. So these are the two different cases. What are the two different cases? Why they are two different things? If you observe the first graph, the left of 0, the functional value is 1. At 0, the functional value is 1. But at the right of 0, the functional value is going to be 2. So left value is different, right value of 0 is different. But in this case, left value of 0, the functional value, and the right side of the 0 of the functional value will remain same, 1, 1 only. But at 0, the functional value is becoming 2. So hence here also there is a break. It will come till as x moves from minus infinity towards 0, the graph will come from here to here. When x value is 0, then graph suddenly shifts from here to here. Then after 0, any positive number you take, then graph will come down here. So there is a break at 0. Okay. So hence this example is also not a continuous function. So I think if you remember class 11th definition, if any function is continuous at x equals to c, then limit extends to c minus, this c minus represents the left limit, minus sign for the left limit. Limit extends to c, f of x must be equals to limit extends to c plus f of x must be equals to the function value. Left limit of the function is equals to right limit of the function must be equals to functional value. If these three are equal, then only I can say the function is continuous function. So in the first example, if you see here, this condition is failing. Left limit is not equals to right limit. Okay, because here left limit of 0 will be 1, right limit of 0 will be 2. So left limit is not equals to right limit in the first example. So hence it will be discontinuous function. And in the second example, left limit is equals to right limit, but it is not equals to functional value because f of 0 is going to be 2. Left side of limit is 1, right side of limit is 1, but the functional value is 2. So here first two things are equal. Left limit is equals to right limit, but which is not equals to functional value. Hence the function will be discontinuous function. If when these three things are equal, then only I can say the function is continuous. Okay. If one of them out of two equality, this, here it is one equal sign, and here is another equal sign. If one of the equality fails, then the function is not continuous. If both equality holds, the function is continuous. Okay. So come to the examples here. So in today's class, basically we'll discuss the introduction part only. We're not going in detail examples much. Now here see the example 1. Check the continuity of the function f given by f of x equals to 2x plus 3. So if they give f of x equals to 2x plus 3, let me put here f of x equals to 2x plus 3. So here they did not mention whether it is equals to 0, I mean left of equality, or right of 0, left of 1. Like, let me show you the example. Yeah, maybe here itself you can see this example. Here they mention if it is less than 0, it is 1. If it is greater than 0, it is 2. Sorry. So, but here in this example, they did not mention anything. If you see the example, check the continuity of the function f given by f of x equals to 2x plus 3 at x equals to 1. So, at x equals to 1, they said that means whether it is left of 1 or whether it is right of 1, the function is going to remain same only. Even at x equals to 1 also the function is same. So to check this one, what I have to do is, first I have to take, let me copy this one, limit extends to 1 minus, here function will remain same, 2x plus 3, right? Because left of 1 or right of 1, it is going to be same only. So you have here 2 into 1 plus 3, which is equals to 5. Now similarly, if I go for limit extends to 1 plus, so instead of minus here, let me use plus sign because I am going for the right side of the function, which is equals to, even right side also, if it is limit extends to 1 plus, still the function remain same, it won't change. So it will still remain 2 of 1 plus 3, which is equals to 5. Even at x equals to 1 also, that is f of 1, the function is same, it is going to be 2 times of 1 plus 5, plus 3, which is equals to 5. So your left limit is answer is 5, right limit answer is 5, functional value is also 5. Therefore, f is continuous at x equals to 1. Okay, f is continuous at x equals to 1. So I can conclude this one. Okay, let me go to the next example. Examine whether the function f given by f of x equals to x square is continuous at x equals to 0. So domain will be anti-real number system. Even if x is less than 0 or if x is greater than 0, my function is going to be x square only, right? So limit extends to 0 minus f of 0 square will be 0. Limit extends to 0 plus 0 square is also 0. And f of 0 also 0. Hence, this function is also going to be continuous at x equals to 0. Now, this is a modulus function f of x equals to mod x. You have to check the continuity at x equals to 0. So, let me solve this question. This is example 2. Let me insert the function. F of x is equals to, it will be mod x. So this is the function is given and you have to check the continuity at x equals to 0. So where you have to check the continuity, that will be given in the question. Check the continuity at x equals to 0 or check the continuity at x equals to 1. That will be mentioned in the question. Just you have to check it out. Now what I do is, I have to find limit extends to, left limit I have to find out. So instead of 1 here, I have to check the continuity at 0. So I'll put limit extends to 0 minus. 0 minus means left side of the 0. Left side of the 0 means you have negative x-axis. If x is less than 0, then f of mod x definition says that f of x equals to minus x. That is the mod x. So left of 0 you have negative x-axis, right? All are negative numbers only. So if x, that means x is negative number. If x is negative number, then f of mod x will be equals to minus x from the definition. If you remember the definition, which is equals to, if I substitute 0, it will be minus into 0, which is going to be 0 only. Next one is, here you have limit extends to 0 plus I have to find. So limit extends to 0, instead of minus sign, here I have to put plus sign. So plus sign is the right side of the 0. Right side of the 0 on the x-axis, right side of 0 are positive numbers. If x is greater than 0, then mod x is going to be x only. So this also will give you answer as 0 only. And at x equals to 0, f of 0 value. If x is 0, then mod x is going to be 0 only. So hence f of 0 is also equals to 0. So left limit is 0, right limit is 0, and function value is 0. Hence f is continuous at x equals to 0. Okay. So here I use the definitions of modulus. X is 0 minus means left side of 0. I repeat, left side of 0 is a negative x-axis. If x is negative, then mod of x definition says mod of x equals to minus x when x is negative. So mod of x, I replace it as minus x. And if x is positive, then mod of x equals to x when x is greater than 0. So that's why mod x I am taking as x here. And when x equals to 0, mod of x will be 0 only. That is also a definition which we studied in class 11. maybe class 12th relation functions also we revise this topic. Okay. Now next example, 4. At x equals to 0, the functional value will take 1. If x is not equals to 0, functional value is going to be x cube plus 3. X is not equals to 0 means on the left side of 0 or on the right side of the 0, the function is going to remain same, x cube plus 3. Now see here, they did not find a left limit and right limit. Here they are written limit extends to 0 only, not 0 minus or 0 plus. Why they are not finding both the ways left limit and right limit? Because whether it is left limit or right limit, my function is going to remain x cube plus 3 only. Okay, because x is not equals to 0. What do you mean by other than x? That means for negative values and for positive values, x is less than 0 or x is greater than 0. Both the cases function is going to be x cube plus 3 only. So that's why they are finding only limit extends to 0 directly. So here you have to find limit extends to 0 f of x. Limit extends to 0 f of x is x cube plus 3. Here you have x cube plus 3. If I substitute x 0 here, 0 cube plus 3, which is 0. So left limit and right limit, you got answer as 3. But what is the functional value given? F of 0 is going to be 1. Because if x is 0, that means f of 0 value is 1. Left limit, right limit, you are getting answer as 3, and the functional value you are getting as 1. That's why it is not continuous at x equals to 0. So you can say not continuous, or maybe it is a discontinuous function. Discontinuous at x equals to 0. Okay. Now check the point where the constant function f of x equals to k is continuous. Yes, because it is a constant. Any point you take at 0, continuous at 0, or continuous at 1, continuous at 2, any point you take. F of, for example, if I want to check continuity at 2, f of 2 is going to be k only. Or left side of 2, if I take, for example, f of 1.99, that is also will give me k. F of 2.001, that is also will give me k. It is a constant function. Whatever the x value, my y value or f of x value is going to be k only. So that's why every constant function is always continuous. And yes, we'll come to conclusion today. Now prove that identity function f of x equals to 1 is continuous at every round. Yes, whatever value you take, it will give me the same value. So it will be continuous only. Now till now we discussed continuity of a function at particular point, the point which they mention in the question. At that particular point the function is continuous or not, right? Now when I say a function is continuous function, the whole function is continuous. I'm not talking about a particular point. If sometimes I use a continuous function, if I want to say the whole function is continuous, then it has to be continuous at every point in the domain. In the domain, if you have, for example, closed interval 1, 2, if I say closed interval 1, 2, there are infinite points. So every point in the domain, the function is continuous, then I can say the function is continuous function. Okay, otherwise I have to say the function is continuous at x equals to 1 or at x equals to 0 or at x equals to -1. At that particular point the function is continuous or not, I have to mention. But if I want to say the whole function is continuous function, then it has to be continuous at every point in the domain. Okay, so that is the definition which they have mentioned here, definition 2. If the function I want to say it is a continuous at closed interval a comma b, then for f to be continuous, it needs to be continuous at every point in closed interval a comma b, including the endpoints a and b. Okay. So at A also the function has to be continuous, at B also the function has to be continuous, and between the numbers of A and B, then also the function is continuous. Then I can say a real function is a continuous function. The whole function is continuous. Okay. In example 3, I discussed f of x equals to mod x is continuous at x equals to 0 or not. That's what I proved here, right? Mod x at x equals to 0, I checked it is a continuous at particular point. Now in this example 7, they ask that whether mod x is a continuous function for every real number. So you take any real number, is the function is going to be continuous or not? Yes, mod x function is always a continuous. Okay. Now how it is continuous? Here they are given the explanation. I think let me use this only. Yeah, this is the definition. If f of x equals to minus x when x is less than 0, this is a mod x definition. And f of x equals to x if x is greater than or equals to 0. That is the definition is given. So there are two cases. Let C be any real number, because I am not checking the continuous at 0 only. I want to check at any random point you take. You close your eyes and take the point. I have to check whether the function is continuous. So C be any real number. It can be any real number as you wish. So case 1 is if C is less than 0. C is less than means C is negative value. Then f of C is going to be minus C, because if C is less than 0, if x is less than 0, f of x is minus x. Similarly, if C is less than 0, f of C value is going to be minus C. If C is less than 0, then f of C is going to be minus C. Even if you find the left limit, that also will give me minus C only. So left limit equals to functional value. Okay. And similarly, second case is if C is greater than 0 means positive number, then f of x is going to be x if x is greater than 0. So limit extends to C, f of x is going to be C only. So functional value, left limit, right limit, all are coming same, whether it is less than 0 or equals to 0. Hence the function has to be continuous. So like this, you have different types of, let me discuss this ninth example, one of the important one. Discuss the continuity of the function defined by f of x equals to 1 by x, where x should not be equals to 0. If x equals to 0, then you will get 1 by 0, which is undefined. That's why x should not be equals to 0. Okay. Now I have to check the function is continuous or not. How do you check? Because x is not equals to 0 means any value you can take less than or greater than, the function is going to be 1 by x only. So limit extends to C, f of x is equals to limit extends to C, f of x is nothing but 1 by x. If I replace x value with C, this is going to be f of C. And if I take x equals to C also, then also I'll get 1 by C only. So the functional value and limit value are equal. Hence the function is going to be continuous at any value other than 0, because x cannot be equals to 0. Now here we have one explanation to be done. We take this opportunity to explain the concept of infinity. If, for example, if I take f of x equals to 1 by x near x equals to 0, I am not taking x equals to 0, but the value is near to 0. For example, if x is 1, I am going to get f of 1 is 1 by 1, which is 1. If x is 0.3, if I replace x value as 0.3, if you want, let me write here. X equals to 0.3, then I get f of 0.3 is equals to, you'll get 1 upon 0.3. 1 upon 0.3 is nothing but 10 by 3. which is equals to 3.333, it will go on. Okay, so if x is 0.3, then f of x will be 3.333. Now if I take x value as, what is the next x value they have taken? As 0.2. X value as 0, well, this one, x value is 0.2, then f of 0.2 is going to be 1 upon 0.2, which is equals to, I think you will get 10 by 2, which is equals to 5. Okay, so then I'll take x value as, but next x value they will consider is 0.1. If I take x value as 0.1, then f of 0.1 will be equals to 1 by 0.1, which is equals to 10 by 1, which is equals to 10. If I go further smaller number, it will be 0.001. I have not mentioned here. If I take x equals to 0.001, then f of 0.001 is going to be x equals to 1 by 0.001. Then you will get, I think, 1000 upon 1, which is 1000. You see, 0.3 is the bigger number, then 0.2 is smaller than 0.3, 0.1 again smaller number, 0.001 is again smaller number. What I have done is, I have taken the x values are smaller and smaller and smaller. Okay, 0.3 is greater than 0.2, and 0.1 is smaller than 0.2. 0.001 is again smaller than 0.1. Your x values are keep on decreases, but look at the y values, that is f of x value. It is 3.333, this is 5, this is 10, and this is 1000. If I take the numbers much closer to 0, for example, f of 0.000000001, then f of that x value is going to be some 10 lakh. Okay, that means as you are moving towards 0, closer and closer and closer to 0, your f of x values are going bigger, bigger, bigger and bigger and towards infinity. So this is where we define the one term, which we call it as limit x tends to 0. X is going towards 0, then f of x value will go towards infinity. Okay, so this is the answer. As x is going towards the 0, f of x value will go towards infinity. Okay, so sometimes we mess up how x is going to 0 and how f of x will go to infinity. Okay, this is the case when I have x in the denominator. As the denominator decreases, your final value will keep on increases. I think this we already learned. Now similarly, if I put minus values, if I put here x is minus 0.3, then you'll get minus 3.333. If x is minus 0.2, then you'll get minus 5. If I get x value is minus 0.1, you'll get minus 10. Here also if I put minus, then here also you'll get minus. So another thing also I can define, here instead of 0, I have to put here one 0 plus first step. It has to be 0 plus. As x goes towards 0 from the right side, it will go to plus infinity. If you want to put plus infinity, and if I go second case, as if x goes towards 0 from the left side, then f of x will go towards minus infinity. Okay, so this is what they want to explain in this table. Here x is going towards 0, smaller and smaller and smaller. F of x will go towards, here negative value exponents are decreasing, and then positive exponents are increasing. So if you want to see the graph and understand, as you are coming towards 0 here, your graph will go towards infinity. It will go towards infinity. Even if you are coming towards from the negative side towards 0 in this direction, okay, maybe you can start from here, come towards 0. How your graph is going? It is going down, down, down till it will go minus infinity. Okay, so those are the two definitions. Limit x tends to 0 minus f of x equals to minus infinity. Limit x tends to 0 plus f of x equals to plus infinity. Yeah. Now here you have the things to discuss the continuity of the function. If you want, let me solve this example. I am following the inside example question, so that exercise maybe we'll discuss in the next class. Yeah. Now what they said, if x is less than or equals to 1, f of x is going to be x plus 2. If x is greater than 1, f of x is going to be x minus 2. So let me insert the equation and we'll discuss the continuity of the function. So I have to check. They did not mention where do I check the continuity, at x equals to 0 or at x equals to 1. Here they are mentioned. X is less than or equals to 1, x is greater than 1, which means I have to check the continuity at x equals to 1 only. They don't mention it separately, okay? So if I take left limit 1 minus, that means less than 1. If it is less than 1, my function is going to be x plus 1. Agree? F of x is going to be x plus 1, which is equals to, if I substitute x value is 1, it is going to be 1 plus 1, which is equals to 2. So I got the left limit as 2. Let me try the right limit. So this is plus on the right side, x is greater than 1. If x is greater than 1, my function is going to be x minus 2. Am I right? So which is going to be, if I substitute x value is 1, 1 minus 2, which is equals to minus 1. Okay, so left limit is 2 and right limit is minus 1. Hence the function is discontinuous, non-continuous function. Here you don't need to find f of 1. Okay, because already I knew left limit and right limit both are not equal, so no need to find f of 1. So it is a discontinuous function. Hope you understand left limit and right. Here the function is differentiated. Less than 1 I have x plus 2. Greater than 1 I have x minus 2. That's why I am finding left limit and right limit. If they don't differentiate, then I no need to find separately left and right limit. You can find only limit x tends to 1. Even if you draw the graph, this is the graph of one function, this is the graph of another function, then what happens is, because this is a single function, f of x equals to, so but there is a break between the two lines, there is a gap, so you can say it is not a continuous function. Now here also left limit you found out. Left limit will give me 3, 1 plus 2, and right limit will give me minus 1, and the functional value is 0. So all three are not equal. Left limit is not equals to right limit, is not equals to functional value, hence the function is discontinuous at x equals to 1. Okay. Now here also x is less than 1, 0, x is greater than 0, both are given. So left limit will give me 2, right limit also will give me 2. So I think the function will be continuous. Since f is continuous at all the points in the domain of f, we reduce that f is f. I think you can see the graph also. Less than 1, less than 1. If next example, x is greater than or equals to 0. So that means the right side of the 0, f of functional value will come 0. Left side limit extends to 0 minus x square. That also will give me 0. Limit extends to 0 plus f of x also will give me 0. Hence it is a continuous function. Okay. Continuous at x equals to 0. Now one more property you can say, or maybe show that every polynomial function is continuous. Now few things we have to remember. One is every polynomial function is a continuous. Modulus function is a continuous function. And what about the greatest integer function? Like f of x equals to in the closure bracket x. This is the step function of greatest integer function. If you see the graph, there is a break at every integer, so it will be a discontinuous function. The greatest integer function is a discontinuous function. Then we have a few properties. Suppose f and g be two real continuous functions at real number c. That means f is a continuous function at c, g is a continuous function at c, then f plus g, sum of two continuous functions, is again a continuous function at c, and difference of two continuous functions is again a continuous function. Product of two continuous functions or composition of two continuous functions is again a continuous function. The division of two continuous functions is again a continuous function, provided g of c is not equals to 0. If I want to discuss continuity of a function at c, then first check g of c is coming, because g is in the denominator. Okay, so g of c should not be 0. Then so sum, difference, quotient, division of two continuous functions are again continuous functions only. Okay, so these properties will help us a lot to understand and solve some questions easily. Then sine function, if you remember the sine function graph, it is an isolate function between -1 and 1, but there is no break in the graph. So hence sine is a continuous function. Cos is also a continuous function. The graph of cos is also an isolation function between -1 to 1, from -1 to 1. So hence it is also a continuous function. Then what about tan? Tan is nothing but sin x upon cos x. So division of two continuous functions are again a continuous function. So hence tan x is also a continuous function, except where cos x is 0. So where cos x is 0, there the function is not defined only. So here you have tan x is a continuous function, except 2n plus 1 pi by 2. Why 2n plus 1 pi by 2? Because at these values cos function is going to be 0. Or maybe domain is removed. From the domain of tan, these numbers are removed. If you remember domain of a tan in the inverse trigonometric function. Okay. Then there are other few more examples. We'll discuss them in the next class. So just go through this video, understand all the definitions, examples, explanation clearly. From example 18, we'll discuss in the next class. Thank you. Have a nice day. Take care.